Hello everyone. In the last lecture, we went through a small tour of the costumes around the world. Well, now that you have an idea of the different costumes, you will be able to research further on it by yourselves. So, in this lecture, let us talk about how to go about collecting all the materials we need for a costume and what are the various materials that can be used. When we talk about materials, one has to always keep in mind the budget that is available to us for getting the costumes made, which means right from the time of procuring material to the finished product. So, you have to really see all the options available so that you have a choice from which you can select materials which both suit your purpose and design and at the same time fit within the budget available. So now we come on to selection of fabrics. When we design costumes, as I told you in my earlier lecture, we have to collect different fabrics. For this, one has to know the different fabrics available in the market and go through what is called a market research or a market survey. But before that, one has to be able to recognize fabrics. This comes with practice. But let us begin with the basics. There are two kinds of fabrics. One that are pure, that are made from natural fibers, and two, those that are artificial or man-made or made from chemical procedures. Fabrics made from natural raw materials are cotton, linen, silk, wool, leather. These are further divided into velvet, chiffon, georgette, satin, crepe, tussar, raw silk, etc. Artificial fabrics are polyester, nylon, artificial silk, mixed chiffon, mixed velvet, blended wool, etc. These are just a few examples. There are very many varieties of both pure and artificial fabrics available in the market. The texture and the feel of pure and artificial fabrics will be different. But as I said earlier, it is a matter of constant practice and you will be able to tell the difference between different fabrics easily. So come, let's watch this video.
भगवान ने चाहा तो सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा। कितना प्यारा मौसम है आज। पता नहीं क्यों आज मेरा दिल बहुत खुश है। आज सुबह मेरी आँख खुली तो मुझे याद है आज तो मेरा नामकरण दिन है। उसके बाद से सब कुछ कितना अच्छा लग रहा है। मुझे बचपन की बातें याद आने लगी। जब अम्मा जिंदा थी, उसके बाद से मन इतना हल्का है कि पूछो मत। आज तुम बहुत प्यारी लग रही हो, बल्कि सबसे प्यारी। माशा भी ऐसे आज अच्छी दिख रही है। हाँ नहीं, थोड़ा सा अजीब हो गया है। वो कसरत फिर से करना शुरू कर देना तो अच्छा लगने लगेगा। और मैं तो मेरी तो उम्र हो गई, थोड़ा दुबली हो गई हूँ। स्कूल में लड़कियों में जान सिखाती हूँ, उसी का नतीजा है। वरना आज देख लो, आज मेरी छुट्टी है, कोई चिक नहीं, सिर भी नहीं रुक रहा। मैं कल से ज्यादा जवान महसूस कर रही हूँ। 28 की तो हूँ अभी। और फिर जो करता है भगवान ही करता है। भगवान जो करेगा अच्छा ही करेगा। लेकिन फिर भी मैं कभी कभी सोचती हूँ, अगर मैं शादी करके घर गृहस्थी में लग गई होती ना तो ज्यादा अच्छा होता। मैं अपने पति को बहुत प्यार करती हूँ।
बहुत ही जैसे प्यार की बातें कर रहे हैं। ये ताना बहनों की बातें सुनते सुनते मैं आप लोगों से एक बात बताना भूल गया था। हमारी बैटरी के नए कमांडर वर्षन आज आपके यहाँ आपसे मिलने आ रहे हैं।
यहाँ आ जा रहे हैं? हमारे यहाँ आ रहे हैं? ये तो बहुत खुशी की बात है। आंटी साहब वो आया, क्या तमाशा।
आपकी बहन का नामकरण दिन है और आप घर जा रही हैं?
क्या फर्क पड़ता है, मैं शाम को आ जाऊंगी। शाम को आ जाऊंगी ना। बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
दो आदमी फलसफा जाते हैं तो उसे फलसफा कहेंगे या संगीनी बकवास। अगर दो औरतें फलसफा जाएं तो भगवान ने मारे।
क्या मतलब है आपका?
मतलब ये कि वो अभी न भर पाया कि भालू ने हाथ दबाया।
और का मत लो तुम, चुप ही करो।
इधर आओ मेरा पास, इधर आओ।
मुझे खाते
कर लीजिए। नगर पंचायत से दिखाई इवानोविच प्रोदोपोव ने भेजा है। एक
रखो। उन्हें मेरा शुक्रिया कह देना। उन्हें मेरा शुक्रिया कह देना। बुआ, इसे ले जाकर थोड़ा हलवा खिला दो। मेरा कौन, इनके साथ जाओ, थोड़ा हलवा खा लो। ये प्रोदोपोव मुझे बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं। उसे नहीं बुलाना चाहिए था यहाँ। उसे किसी ने नहीं बुलाया। अच्छा ही किया नहीं बुलाया। हे भगवान, ये अब सब आवाज उठा रहे हैं। क्या क्या करते रहते हैं ये भी। दिमाग खराब करते रहते हैं। ओहो, मेरे क्या नहीं बात हो गई।
So hope you enjoyed that. Now, to continue with our subject, pure artificial fabrics. We were talking about the different fabrics. While designing costumes, one can always play with this. In the sense, one can always use artificial silk in place of pure silk. But you have to be careful about the type of artificial silk that you buy, because all artificial silks may not have the same shine. They may shine and reflect light much more than pure silk would do, therefore giving a very sharp reflection to the audience, which could be irritating to look at. And also, artificial silk may not have the same weight as pure silk, and therefore the way the garment falls will change. By the fall of a garment, I mean the way it flows down. Every garment has to have certain fall so that it gets into the shape that we have designed it in. For example, if you want an A-line skirt, then you have to make sure that the fabric is not so flimsy that it falls straight. If you get slightly thicker fabric, you would be able to see the difference in the fall, as the thicker fabric will bulge out slightly, giving it the necessary fall so that you can see the A-line clearly. Very lightweight fabric might not give a nice heavy fall. Therefore, depending on your need, you must very carefully select the fabric even when you are selecting from artificial fabrics. In the same way, say you need velvet. Of course, one can always go and buy pure velvet, as the fall that we get is perfect, but has to always keep the budget in mind. So, you can choose chenille, a fabric very similar to velvet but lighter in weight. You can go in for artificial velvet, which may be a bit stiffer than velvet. Here are some photos of different fabrics. This is cotton. This is pure silk. This is lace. This is wool. This is leather. This is lycra. This is satin. And this is velvet. Now that you have looked at the photos, I suggest that you go out into the market and see different fabrics and get a first-hand experience of how they look and feel in your hands. That is when you will understand fabrics in terms of weight, fall, flow, etc. So now, after fabrics, let's talk about accessories like armor, for example. Armor was usually made of leather or metal. So when you have the budget and the play you are designing for demands the real thing, then you should get leather armor made, or if you're able to get the right person, have it made in metal. But do keep in mind that the people you are getting these made for are actors and not warriors. So, the armor should not be so heavy that the actors are tied down by its weight. Again, be careful of the fact that be it pure leather or metal, you should research the method of making armor and then set about designing it. You have to ensure that the armor is flexible enough that the actors can move freely in them. Again, if a very real look is not essential, then you can use leatherite, which is much lighter and far more flexible. Leatherite is an imitation of leather available in many colors, even metallic colors. When you have the freedom to be creative and need to only give a suggestion of armor, you can work with fabric, jute, cane, woven cane, etc. Here are some pictures of armor. Metal. This is a picture of metal armor that you can see here. It is a chain mail which is worn over leather or an inner tunic. This picture is of leather armor which has been embellished with bronze and brass designs. This is a picture of a suggestion of armor in fabric. So, now we move on to jewelry. As far as jewelry is concerned, there is always the option of buying ready-made items. You will have to do a detailed search of the market to find items that suit your purpose and design. But you can always be innovative and try to make your own jewelry if your design permits innovation. You can use various materials like cloth, braids, beads, foil, thermocol, paper, shells, etc. The only thing one needs to take care of is that this kind of jewelry should be sturdy and not break with one use. So, one must make note of the kind of movements the actors have before going in for such material. But before we continue further, let's watch this.
माता को देता हूं। तुम्हें प्रणाम करता हूं। बहुत दिनों की आपकी इच्छा की पूर्ति हेतु आपके आहार के लिए मैं एक मनुष्य लाया हूं।
पुत्र चिरंजीवी हो, कैसा मनुष्य लाए हो?
मां, वो कहने मात्र को मनुष्य है, पराक्रम से नहीं।
क्या वो ब्राह्मण है?
ब्राह्मण नहीं है।
तो क्या वृद्ध है?
वृद्ध भी नहीं है।
तो क्या बालक है?
बालक भी नहीं है।
यदि ऐसा है तो मैं देखूंगी।
ठीक है।
Let's go on straight to the next point, which is footwear. Again, in the case of footwear, one can go for buying ready-made footwear if it is according to the design and period. Otherwise, you can design it and have it made to order. In having them made to order, one has the option of being very precise as far as the design is concerned. And also, you can decorate it in the fashion of the established period. For example, one can have metal or stone details on the footwear. You can have the footwear made in leather, jute, canvas, or any such material as per the requirement and design. The various kinds of footwear are broadly based into the categories of formal shoes, casuals, slippers, sandals, ankle boots, long boots, riding boots, sneakers, etc. Well, these were for men. For women, we have the same categories except that they include flat heels to medium heels right up to very high heels. Apart from that, women's shoes are available in a larger range of colors and designs. And now, we come to the last point, which is headgear. When we talk about headgear, we are talking about crowns, tiara, headbands, turbans, hats, etc. Simply put, anything that you want the actor to wear on his head is a headgear. You can hire these if you can find them in the color and material that you want it in. The other option is getting them made according to your design and the head measurement of the actors. You can even find innovative ideas like, for example, a simple band crown. You can use a necklace stitched onto fabric and worn as a headband. In case of turbans, like an Indian king's turban, a farmer's turban, a camel rider's turban, you can have them made. The other option is to hire a person who can tie turbans and have him tie it on the actors every day of the show. Here are some photos. This is a simple headgear. The director wanted the crown not to be of metal. It was to be a simple, suggestive piece of headgear which gave the suggestion of a king's turban or crown. Hence, you see just a simple piece of fabric going around like a band and a little knot at the front which has been pulled open like a ruffle. This is a turban where 3 pieces of cloth, black and white, have been plaited together so that the actor can wrap it around his head in the style of the turban for each show. So, once again, to sum up today's lecture, there are many ways to design and find the materials that are required. All one needs to do is find out all the options available and go in for the one that is best suited to your purpose. Think about that. See you soon.